During World War II, more than half of Europe was either threatened or taken over by the Nazi Germany, and was just about every other country was affected by it in some way. But, however, I think it's safe to assume that you all know this. So back then, there were many radio channels made with the sole purpose of broadcasting information about the war, although broadcasters were punished severely if found out. One of these many channels was called Sonocha Gegoja, or Peace in the War. It was a channel broadcasted in the southern region of Ireland, and after the war, Peace in War decided to try and host their own TV channel, and even host and change their name to Peace in the World, and was now broadcasting shows in English with the sole purpose of saying how good the world is, and why we shouldn't start wars, and why that kind of stuff. After about a year of broadcasting, they ran out of funding, and they were replaced with some other Irish channel about cooking or something. It makes sense. They broadcasted stuff that either people already knew or didn't care about. In the late 1970s, ITV had received some tapes, apparently all from Peace in the War shows. They had a group of editors to take a look at the tapes to see if they could find anything interesting material or for a 2-hour show they were going to broadcast. Giving info into the war and the impact it had on society, the editors took a look for the tapes they had, most of them being TV shows for children, and telling them how nice it is to stay to others and stay energetic, all that crap would you expect from such a peachy station. After a few days, looking through the unbearably boring shows, one of the tapes we were about to play had a dent in the corner of it, and it was dust. Strange, all the other tapes seemed to be in mint condition, but they were almost 3 decades old. The alternative was more surprising. When they showed only static, they ignored this, figured that the tape was broken, and moved on. The next tape had surrounded children as she read a book. The show never displayed the name, although they had seen it and one telling them about how a kid was bad and got punished. The second story was telling them how a kid was good and got rewarded. After that, she would talk briefly about what we learned today, and she would use the illusion with children sitting around her. And remember, in order to be safe, we must have peace in the world. This particular tape played out as normal. You kind of make out some of the words if you looked hard enough at the blurry screen, but the sounds was just a white noise playing throughout the entire episode. All the other tapes that were all displaying static and the white noise all had dents in the exact same places, except for one tape. Upon further inspection, the editors found it wasn't a white noise, but rather highly distorted speech. They decided to play the tape in reverse to see if they could hear anything differently. One of the editors ran out of the room, and another almost fell out of his chair. The audio was indescribable. It sounded like a low, creepy chanting that was highly shocking. Seeing as if they weren't expected to hear more than such words, during this, a low static sound was heard, and the editors what they could describe was as a black noise, and on the screen there was no woman, no children, no background, only that blue chair with the book sitting on it as if they were both on fire. While the 2 editors that actually stayed at this place actually listened carefully to make out some of the words in Gaelic. 2 of the remaining stayed at this point and listened carefully, and 2 editors quit their job after this. But one of the editors that remained in the reversed audio found out that it said, "Let the world burn, let the peace be diminished, let the lands wage war," over and over again until the episode was finished. The editor destroyed the tapes and also quit his job. Years later, the editor was mugged and beaten by an unidentified gang street, and it happened to be and was set on fire, as the gang sang manically, "Let the world burn, let the world burn, let the world burn."